Hey everyone, I'm Scott Montgomerie, the CEO and co-founder of ScopeAR, and my presentation is all about how augmented reality is building the world around you. So we obviously know that augmented reality is extremely hot right now. We've had, maybe you guys are all here because you know it's hot. Maybe you saw Pokemon Go and just got interested, but there's a lot of momentum here. We've seen amazing advancements from guys like HoloLens, and ODG's gotten great new glasses, investments from Google in their Tango product. Who knows what Apple does next week? Facebook with their announcement that it's going to be kind of mainstream in their Facebook Spaces app. So just a ton of momentum. And the reason why I think everybody is so excited about augmented reality is it's really the new UI paradigm. It's a way for us to interact with the world in 3 dimensions, the way that we evolved to work with the world, with our hands and our eyes. And that's extremely powerful. And it's going to enable a whole new way of interacting with computers and visualizing data and interacting with that data. And that's going to enable a whole new level of improved comprehension. If you can interact more intuitively with data around you and have the visual cortex of our brain be able to recognize that information, it's a much more intuitive way and a much bigger data flow from that 3-dimensional aspect into your brain. And that's going to enable a whole new level of knowledge transmission. So if we can have improved comprehension, that means that we can transmit more information into our brains to understand that data a little bit better. And that can possibly enable on-demand knowledge. Now, on-demand knowledge is extremely powerful. This can actually reduce training and a whole lot of years of needing to do something over and over again, and have on-demand knowledge allow us to figure out how to do something immediately while we're out in the workforce or in the field or on the factory floor. And that's going to enable a whole new level of efficiency. So I wanted to talk about a few customer solutions, and I'll narrow in on a couple of specific ones. The first is training. So on-the-job training is going to improve dramatically with augmented reality. Being able to see 3D models overlaid on top of real equipment is an incredibly effective way of understanding how you need to perform some kind of task. Similarly with maintenance, it can actually reduce the amount of training you need. So you have this on-demand knowledge that can just guide you through how to do things. So if you have a base level of skills, you're going to be able to get the specifics delivered to you from some kind of cloud-based knowledge base. In quality assurance, seeing 3D models as designed in 3D is an amazing, overlaid on top of real equipment, is an amazing way of being able to do quality assurance. So you can see the planned model versus the overlaid on to the top of the as-built model. So looking at things like the angles of joints and weld locations, and if something is missing a part, something like that. And then these two I want to specifically narrow in on: construction pre-visualization and manufacturing use cases. So construction and manufacturing actually have a lot of things in common. So we do planning in 3D. It's called BIM in the construction or AEC space, and it's CAD and PLM in the manufacturing space. So once you plan it, then you move to assembly instructions. And so these are blueprints in AEC, and diagrams or text instructions in the manufacturing industry. And while we're building or doing manufacturing, there's always compliance and audit trail issues we need to deal with. And then once we finish the manufacturing or the construction, we need to do some verification or inspection. And then once we hand off the fully constructed building or manufactured part, there's always maintenance and facilities management. And then, of course, both of them have remote collaboration. In both of these industries, you're going to have technical workers that don't have the knowledge they need and need to call to an expert. And augmented reality can really help bridge that gap between an expert's knowledge, delivering that to a technician. So the great thing is that augmented reality can help with all of these attributes in the construction and maintenance industry, or in manufacturing industry. So we've seen some really great solutions in terms of virtual reality in the construction industry. So companies like Fuser are enabling virtual reality to, or enabling designers to import 3D models designed in BIM into a virtual reality context. So you can actually walk through these virtual reality models, and they're a virtual representation of what the building is actually going to look like. And you can do stuff like real-time changing of where a staircase is, or where a railing is, or where a picture frame is, or where a window is. And so this is going to enable architects to do amazing things with buildings in the future, stuff that we couldn't possibly comprehend before. Similar with augmented reality, if you've got a space that's kind of already built, maybe it's an old warehouse and you want to transform it into a co-working space, you can visualize new walls or change out the entire layout in augmented reality. And in manufacturing, there's a lot of really great use cases around the designing process. So NASA has developed a software called Protospace, where it enables a bunch of engineers all connected over a network to visualize the same 3D model in augmented reality space, and then allows them to move individual parts and actually change the model on the fly and collaborate between all these engineers to figure out a better design and design this thing. So once you move on from planning to assembly instructions, augmented reality is an amazing way to visualize assembly instructions. So here's a quick video. This is actually a demo that we have at our booth, 218, of a gear assembly being assembled in augmented reality. So the idea is that it's presented to you with a whole list of parts on a table in front of you, and it shows step by step how to put this thing together. Now, with paper instructions, this thing is so complicated. I'm not actually sure how you would represent how to assemble it in paper instructions. Who here has ever screwed up IKEA furniture? I mean, those things are really, really simple, right? And yet we still screw it up. So this is a great way of visualizing assembly instructions. And then compliance and audit trail. With augmented reality, it turns out we have a camera pointing at the piece of equipment we're actually manufacturing. And so this is an amazing opportunity to collect a lot of data, stuff like screenshots, videos, checklists. Did you turn off this power? Did you do this assembly? Timing data. How long is it taking each worker to do each step in a procedure? GPS coordinates, who the guy is. All this information can be stored and provide invaluable analytics back to your manufacturing or your construction organization. And then verification and inspection. Again, overlaying 3D models on top of manufactured equipment is a great way to visualize how to do verification. It can speed up that verification process dramatically. And then maintenance and facilities management. Similar to verification, overlaying 3D models on top of the maintained, or the part can show you maintenance instructions and show you facilities management instructions. And then remote collaboration. So we at ScopeAR have a product called Remote AR that enables telepresence and allows two people to collaborate in augmented reality in 3D. And so it's a really great way to solve problems in the field. Specifically in the construction industry, for example, you have issues all the time where a particular worker will misplace where a pipe goes. They'll put it 2 inches to the left. And that screws up where the duct goes, and that screws up where the electrical goes. And so every time you make one of these changes, you have to go back to the BIM modeler to modify the model. And that causes days, weeks of delays, travel time. So if you can collaborate in real time to solve these problems in 3D, that can save so much time and money. Similarly in manufacturing, you want to reduce your downtime, you want to solve problems as quickly as possible, and remote collaboration can really enable that. So why do we even care about improving the efficiency? Well, manufacturing is doing pretty good. It has actually improved the efficiency and productivity by about 250% in the last 50 years. But we still need to make things faster and cheaper. That's, after all, how you grow your economy and become more efficient, by doing more with less. And with Boeing, for example, they make 762 planes per year, but they have a backlog of over 8,000 planes, which means that if you ordered a plane today, you would have to wait 8 years to get a plane delivered, which is insane to me. And then Airbus. So Airbus has been around for 46 years. And if you take the number of planes that has been manufactured by Airbus, their backlog is actually 50% of that entire number. So that's just a ridiculous statistic to me. So construction is even worse. Construction productivity has actually decreased by 20% in the past 40 years. You think we're making progress, but here we're actually going backwards. And 65 to 75% of any building cost is labor, building materials, and overhead. Most of it labor, though. And we know that for every building in the future, it will almost certainly cost more than it will today. So there is a major incentive for us to improve productivity now and not wait in the future. And this is just a graph of the productivity improvement between manufacturing and construction. So we already saw that manufacturing needs to be improved, but construction is a really sorry state. So there are some early success stories with augmented reality. So Boeing, with Upskill's Skylight platform, has actually cut production time substantially, and they've lowered their error rates to nearly 0. And it was one particular use case they showed, which was the construction of wire harness diagrams. So we saw major efficiency gains there. And with Lockheed Martin, they're using augmented reality in their manufacturing processes, and they've seen some amazing increases in engineers' work accuracy, and they're working much more fast, or much more quickly and efficiently. And then in the construction space, we've got some really cool proof of concepts that we've done. So this is a construction company in Los Angeles where we, just using a HoloLens, we showed this construction worker step by step how to create this room. So this is a guy who constructs this room all day, every day. He can basically do it in his sleep. But with no blueprints, no lasers, no chalk, no snap lines, no traditional construction tools of any kind, just seeing what he was able to see in the HoloLens, he was able to build this room dramatically faster than traditional construction. So we're really excited about this particular use case, and we're continuing to push forward with pilots and actually getting out in the field, building actual buildings. So why is it right now that all of a sudden we're seeing all this innovation? Well, iPads are great and all, and we've seen some really great improvements in efficiency with some of our customers using iPads and other tablets. But you know, the tracking is a little lacking. It only has an RGB camera. It means that you need to have your tablet and put it down. And that's just not a great use case. We really want wearable displays. And really what has enabled this over the past year is the HoloLens. So we are really, really excited about the HoloLens, and it's near perfect tracking. You know, we've been able to measure it down to about 2 centimeters of accuracy, which is good enough for a lot of manufacturing maintenance use and construction use cases. And you know, we're just at the point of the pinnacle point of growth in this industry, seeing these use cases come. So stay tuned. You know, next year I'm sure I'll be up here talking about a lot more use case stories and efficiency growth. But I am super excited about where this goes, and it's an amazing time to be in this industry. So thanks very much.